Hello students, welcome to my YouTube channel RJK Tutorials. Today I am going to cover one of the subject which comes under AECC, that is Ability Enhancement Compulsory Course subject, which is nothing but the environmental studies. So this is a compulsory subject which is introduced for the various courses such as BCOM, BBA, BSc, BHM and BCA. Today I am going to review the question paper of March-April 2023. Now coming to the pattern of the question paper, EBS is a question paper for 30 marks. It consists of 2 marks questions and 5 marks questions. 2 marks questions consists of 5 questions, that comes to 10 marks, and 5 marks questions comes to a total of 4 questions, so which gives you a total marks of 20. So 10 plus 20 gives you a total of 30 marks. So this is how the question paper is designed for 30 marks. So let us see some of the important questions that comes under section A, which is for 2 marks. So the first question is, so what is ecosystem, or define an ecosystem? An ecosystem is a geographic area where plants, animals, other organisms, as well as the weather landscape work together to form a bubble of life. So in other words, ecosystem consists of biotic or living components or parts, as well as abiotic factors or non-living parts. And biotic components includes the plants, animals, and other organisms. Abiotic components basically includes the non-living things like rocks, temperature, humidity, sunlight, water, etc. So in other words, ecosystem is a combination of both biotic as well as the abiotic components. Second question is food chain. So what do you mean by a food chain? A food chain explains which organism is going to eat which organism. So in other words, it's going to explain which organism eats another organism in the environment. So food chain is a linear sequence of organisms where the nutrients and energy is transformed from one organism to another. So this occurs when one organism consumes the another organism. So this normally happens when the higher trophic organisms is going to consume the lower trophic organisms. You know that in ecosystem there are 3 levels of trophic systems are there. One is producers, consumers, and decomposers. The consumers includes primary consumers, secondary consumers, and tertiary consumers. So the upper consumers are going to consume the lower consumers. So that is how the food chain is created here. So it's going to start from the producers and going to end in the with composer. I mean with decomposer organisms. So third question is drought. So what is a drought? A drought is a period of unusually persistent dry weather that persists long enough to cause a serious problem such as a crop damage or water supply shortages. And the severity of the drought depends upon the degree of the moisture deficiency or the shortage of moisture deficiency or shortage of moisture in the air. So when there is a shortage of moisture in air, automatically the temperature of the air is going to increase and it's going to create a dry environment leading to a drought. And the duration of drought can vary from couple of weeks to couple of months or even 2 years. And also the area of the drought is also decided by the region where this deficiency of moisture is seen. So this is what you mean by a drought. So fourth question is global warming. What do you mean by global warming? So global warming is gradual increase in earth temperature. It's generally due to the greenhouse effect caused by the CFC gases, such as those gases which are used in refrigerators, air conditioners, which are called as chlorofluorocarbon compounds. Apart from that, you also have a methane. You have other pollutants such as the carbon dioxide and other things. So this is what you mean by global warming. So the fifth question is what you mean by e-waste rules. So e-waste management rules mentions the ceiling limit for hazardous chemicals that are used in manufacturing electronic products. So when electronic products are manufactured, there are various degrees and categories of hazardous chemicals are used. So what is the ceiling or the limitation of this hazardous chemical that you can use in manufacture of electronic products? So that rule is basically called as the e-waste rules. So e-waste rules specify the procedure to obtain the authorization from the pollution control board for handling e-waste. So these rules normally applies to the companies or manufacturers, wholesalers, retailers dealing any of the following items. So what are these items for which the e-waste rules are applied? So first one is centralized data processing instruments, mainframes, mini computers, desktop computers, central processing unit, or you call as CPU, input output devices, laptops, notebooks, notepad computers. It includes printers, printer cartridges, copying equipment that is called Xerox machines, electrical and electronic typewriters, teleprompter terminals, facsimils, telex machines, telephone, cordless telephone, cellular telephones, answering machines, television sets, which are called as the CRT, the display units, or it can be LCD display units, light emitting diode technology that's called LEDs, refrigerators, washing machines, air conditioners, etc. and etc., including the fluorescent lamps. So this is how the e-waste rules applies. So next we go to the sixth question. So what do you mean by wind energy, or wind energy is what actually? So wind power or wind energy describes the process by which the wind is used to generate a mechanical power or electricity. So it's a process of generating electricity by using the wind energy or the wind power. So this is basically done through wind turbines, which converts the kinetic energy into the electrical energy. So this is how the energy is generated, and this is what is called as wind energy. So seventh question. So what is landslides? A landslide is defined as the movement of mass of rock or debris or the earth uh, sloping down. That means the materials on top of the hill gets sloping down because of the gravity and the slope. Landslides are basically are a type of mass wasting, which denotes any downslope movement of soil or rocky material under different uh, influences of gravity, or it can be even a direct influence of gravity also. So because of gravity, what happens is when the soil becomes loosened, the soil starts sliding down from the top of the hill, so the debris starts falling down down the slope. So this is what is called as the landslides. So next we go to the section B, which consists of 5 marks question. So the first question is like this: explain interstate conflicts on water sharing in India. So India is a country which has a lot many rivers. We have Krishna river, we have we have Krishna, Saraswati, Godavari, Kaveri, we have Ganges water. So many rivers are there, and definitely these rivers are going to flow in different states, and so there will be a dispute as far as the sharing of water is considered. So this is a question related to interstate conflicts on sharing of water in India. So interstate water disputes or disagreements on sharing of water and other resources of rivers and other water bodies between the two state governments. So why this disagreement normally happen? Because the water is a very essential commodity. Not only it is used for drinking, it is to very large extent used for irrigation, and also as a solvent in various industries. So therefore, there is a huge demand of water, and when these resources are disputed or disagreed between the states, and this leads to what we called as the interstate conflicts on water. So they arise due to unresolved problems regarding sharing of the cost, of transportation of water and benefits of multi-purpose project on these river waters. Now let us look at the interstate river water disputes. So these disputes are governed by Interstate Water Dispute Act of 1956. So as per this law, the state governments can approach the central government for a tribunal for resolution of water dispute. So the decision of tribunal will be final. That means if the state governments are not in a position to resolve the dispute, then finally it goes to the tribunal and the tribunal decision is taken as the final decision. So some of the tribunals that are created over a period of time, you can see here in 2004, Krishna Water Dispute Tribunal 2 was created. This is pertaining to sharing of water between Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra, Telangana and Karnataka. Then we have Mahanadi Water Dispute Tribunal, which was created in the year 2018 for sharing of water between Odisha and Chhattisgarh, and Mahadai Water Dispute Tribunal created in 2010, sharing of water between Karnataka, Goa, and Maharashtra. Ravi and Bias Water Tribunal, which was created in 1986, sharing of water between Rajasthan, Haryana, and Punjab. Then Vansadhara Water Dispute Tribunal created in 2010, pertaining to sharing of water between Odisha and Andhra Pradesh. So like this, we have so many tribunals. These tribunals are going to give a judgment as far as sharing of water is concerned. So the second question is, write a brief note on soil erosion and desertification. So first of all, you should know what is a soil erosion. What do you mean by desertification? So in this process, the soil particles are loosened or washed away in valleys, oceans, rivers, or streams, or faraway lands. This has been worsening due to human activities such as agriculture and deforestation. So soil erosion is where the topsoil of the land, which is has a lot of nutrition, gets washed out or gets eroded out because of human activities or because of deforestation. So soil erosion is a continuous process which happens over a period of time. So either it can happen very slowly or it can happen at a very alarming rate. So depending upon the degree of human activities taking place in that region. It results in a continuous loss of topsoil because topsoil is the most fertile soil on the land. So it contains a lot of nutrition. It contains nitrogen, phosphorus, ammonia, and other ingredients which are stored in the soil, which are going to act as a manure for growth of plants. And it also results in ecological degradation, soil collapse, and etc. That means the overall ecosystem in that particular region gets totally destroyed because of soil erosion. Because without soil, there is no plants. Without plants, there is no any ecosystem. So that is how ecological degradation can happen. So causes of soil erosion are many causes. Excessive rainfall and flooding. So it's going to create soil erosion because of the continuous movement of water, agricultural activity, grazing, uh, logging and mining activities, construction activities, what you call as the urbanization activities, rivers and streams, and heavy winds also can cause the deforestation. So deforestation is nothing but the degradation of process by which the fertile land changes itself into desert. So any fertile land, as I told earlier, it contains a lot of manure. So because of the process of degradation, the topsoil is washed out or thrown out to a different region. So the remaining land becomes barren. So that leads to formation of desert. So that's why it's called desertification. So desertification is a process by which the fertile land changes itself into the desert by losing its flora and fauna. So this is caused by drought, deforestation, climate change, human activities, or improper agriculture. So desertification is a process of degradation of land. It occurs because of man-made activities and climate change. So desertification also takes place where a particular type of biome converts into desert biome. That means a grassland ecosystem, if it gets converted into a desert ecosystem, then also it is possible that we can see formation of deserts. So what are the causes of desertification? Overgrazing, deforestation, farming practices, that is improper farming practices, urbanization, other type of land development, climate change, stripping the land of resources, natural disasters, and other reasons. So what are the impacts of desertification? Farming becomes more difficult or impossible in certain area, because when there is no fertility of land, you cannot think about farming. Flooding chances are more, because these plants are going to act as a speed breakers or barriers. So when there is no plants, so definitely flooding can happen. Hunger is one thing, because loss of vegetation, there is no farming, poor quality of water, overpopulation, poverty are some of the causes of uh, desertification. So let us look at the third question. Write a brief note on endangered and endemic species of India. So you should know what is the difference between endangered and endemic species. Definitely there is a difference between the two. An endangered species is a type of organism that is threatened by extinction. The species become endangered for two reasons. One is loss of habitat and loss of genetic variation. So that means endangered species are those organisms which are in the process of extinction. That means today they are alive and they are today they are can be seen, but over a period of time they disappear from nature. So this can happen because of loss of habitat, and also uh, not finding that much of genetic variation with them. So when the population is very less, so genetic variations will be less. So because of that, you can see an endangered animals happening at. So 10 endangered species in India. These are some of the animals or species in India which is getting endangered. One is the Bengal tiger, Asiatic lion, snow leopard, one-horned rhinoceros, black buck, lion-tailed macaw, um, resplendent tree frog, Kashmiri red stag. So these are the species which is endangered, which is in the threat of uh, undergoing extinction in the coming years. So what are endemic species? So these are the species are those found in just one region or nowhere else it is found in the world. That means these are the species of plants or animals which are found in a specific geographical region. So because of the unique weather and the climate of that region, you can see this flora and fauna growing in that particular region, and it is localized to a particular geographical area. For example, kangaroos are normally found in only in Australia. So therefore, they become endemic species and they are found nowhere in the world. Similarly, penguins are found in the Arctic and Antarctic region, and you will not find these animals in anywhere in the world. So what are the endemic species of India? So there is a list of endemic species in India, which is mentioned below, such as you have Asiatic lion, Gir forest. Asiatic lion is also known as Indian lion and can be found only in certain regions in and around Gir forest, National Park of Gujarat. These are listed as endangered species. Um, these are one of the five big cats found in India. Unfortunately, they are endangered. So once the species become more endemic in nature, more concentrated, chances of extinction is very high. So Kashmir stag are found in the Kashmiri Valley. They are also known as Angul. The Kashmir stag is found in the dense forest of uh, Dachigun National Park, Kashmiri Valley, Chamba district in Himachal Pradesh. Then also you have lion-tailed macaw, which is found in the Western Ghats region. So this is the region which you found near the coastal, the western belt of India, somewhere the west part of Goa, Karnataka, Maharashtra region. You can find this. Then you have purple frog, which is also found in the Western Ghats. They are also known as the pig-nosed frog, which is found in the rainforest of the Western Ghat region. And Sangai deer, it is found in Loktak Lake, um, which is actually found in Kaibul Lamjo National Park of Manipur. Then you'll have Nilgiri Thar, which is found in the Nilgiri Hills, which is also found in the Western Ghat region. So let us go to the sixth question. So the sixth question is like this. Write a note on structure and function of forest ecosystem. So first of all, you should know what is the meaning of forest ecosystem. A forest ecosystem is ecosystem of forest and other natural resources. Forests are renewable natural resources, and forests are formed by grouping of plants that are structurally defined by trees, shrubs, herbs, climbers, and ground covers. Soil, animals, insect, microorganisms, and birds are mostly found interacting in this particular region. Out of all the ecosystem, forest ecosystem is one ecosystem where you will find larger degree of different categories of plants, animals, and microorganisms. In India, the forests occupy about 18 to 20% of the total area of the land. So you will find two types of components in forest ecosystem. One is the living and non-living thing. So abiotic component such as rainfall, light, temperature, humidity, soil, and other things are called abiotic components. And biotic components consist of the producer, consumers, and decomposers. So what are the functions of forest ecosystem? So forest ecosystem has a lot of functions. First one is goods obtained from forests have a lot of value, export value, industrial applications. So there are various types of byproducts can be done by using the products found in forest. So the many products found in forest can be used as a raw material for making byproducts. For example, we can take bamboo trees, and these trees are converted into paper. So paper industry rely to very large extent on forest as a natural resources. So there are various types of food products such as honey, wild meat, fruits, mushrooms, palm oil, wine, medicinal plants are obtained from forest. So other than edible part, we also obtain timber, wood biomass, cork, and etc. from forest. The fuel can be extracted from old trees that are buried under the soil. So the second function is ecological function. Forests play a very important role in maintaining ecological factors such as the climate, carbon storage, nutrient cycle. So you have different type of cycles like nitrogen cycle, carbon cycle, carbon dioxide cycle, oxygen cycle. So these cycles are recycled, or the cycle is gone, keeps on going, or keeps on continuing because of the forest ecosystem. And one of the main advantage of forest is rainfall. So they're going to cool the atmosphere, and it helps in the rainfall. So the third function is cultural and social benefits. So many of the tribal people who are going to live in the forest area, they depend upon the forest for various resources. And traditional beliefs and spirituality save wild animals from hunters and cutting down of trees by urban people. A few modern people visit forests for recreation also. You know that forest ecosystem is under threat because of the hunting and cutting down of trees. And today, the government, along with the various movements taken down by people, also saving the forest ecosystem to a very large extent. And today, many people visit forest for recreation. So we go to the next question. Give an account of Environmental Protection Act of 1986. So Environmental Protection Act was enacted in the year 1986. It was enacted with the main objective of giving protection, improvement of environment, and also matters connected therewith. That covers the all forms of pollution, that is water pollution, soil pollution, noise pollution, air pollution. It also provides the safe standards for presence of various pollutants in the environment, and also it prohibits the use of hazardous materials unless the prior permission is taken from the central government. So what are the aims and objectives of EPA, or Environmental Protection Act 1986? The chief aim of the objective is listed below, like implementing the decision made by the various countries under the banner of national under the United Nations Conference on Human Environment held in the Stockholm. In fact, many of the provisions provided in the Environmental Protection Act is taken from the decisions implemented under the United Nations Conference on Human environment held in the stock book. Apart from that, creation of government authority to regulate the industry that can issue direct orders, including the closure orders. That means it gives the authority to for the government to take action on those industries which are creating a pollution, which are destroying the environment. Coordinating activities are different agencies that are operating under the existing law, enacting regular laws for protection of environment. So it's going to amend the laws as and when it is required for protection of environment, imposing punishments and penalties for those who endanger the environment or destroy the environment, safety and health. For each failure or contravention, the punishment can include a prison term up to 5 years or a fine up to 1 lakh rupees or both, depending upon the nature of the case. And this can be extended up to the 7 years in certain cases. So engaging in a sustainable development of the environment. So what do you mean by sustainable development of environment? So developing the technology and developing the environment both has to go hand in hand. So whenever we use a technology to a very large extent, definitely going to affect the environment. So in sustainable development, we think how to use eco-friendly technology so that we protect the environment at the same time we use the technology for our progress. So attaining protection of the right to life under the Article 21 of the Constitution. So these are the main objectives or main things are explained in the Environmental Protection Act of 1986. So the next one is what are the components of forest ecosystem? So the main components forest ecosystem includes producers, so consumers and decomposers. Producers basically include the plants which uses the sunlight and chlorophyll to produce the food through a process called photosynthesis. And the primary consumers are those things which feed on the plants directly. Examples can include grasshoppers and deer. Secondary consumers are those which feed on the primary consumers for food. So decomposers are going to break down the dead and decaying things, and they use that as a food for them. So it can include the ants, termites, bacteria, like that, millipedes, earthworms, other things are there. So then you have the nutrient cycle. So the nutrient cycle basically includes the nutrition generation, how generation of nutrition happens. That is the carbon cycle, oxygen cycle, nitrogen cycle. So how this oxygen, nitrogen is created in the air. You know that 70% of the air is nitrogen, 22% is oxygen. So how this nutrition cycle really happens, how the nutrition cycle happen in the soil, how the recycling of air happens in the atmosphere. So all these things are going to uh, play an important role in the forest ecosystem. So this is actually a part of a forest ecosystem thing. It's been included here. So here you have to answer all these things. What are the main components of forest ecosystem? These are the main components, and also it helps in the energy flow. So it helps in production of food. It helps in keeping the nutrient cycle active. So there are so many nutritions are there. Some are small in number, some are large in number. So it helps in recycling of these nutrients, and also forest ecosystem play a very active role in the energy flow. Okay, so next question is like write a note on multidisciplinary nature of environmental studies. You know that environmental studies is a multidisciplinary subject because many of those approaches are taken from various subjects. So it can include from a wide diverse subjects. So so each of these subjects do give a lot of informations pertaining to the uh, how the environment is really working in nature. So the multidisciplinary nature of the environmental studies allows for a holistic and interdisciplinary perspective on environmental challenges and their solutions. So that means it's going to give a holistic approach, and also how the various interdisciplinary perspectives, how you're going to look at the environment from a different language point of view, a different the subject's point of view, how to face the challenges of environment. So all these things you can analyze through the multidisciplinary nature of environmental studies. So it includes various subjects like environmental science. So environmental science forms the foundation of environmental studies. So it encompasses a study of physical, chemical, biological components of environment, including ecosystem, natural resources, pollution, climate change, other things. Ecology is a study of environment. It basically focuses on relation between the organism and the environment. So it helps in understanding the interconnection and interdependencies among the living organisms and the habitat and the natural process that is going to help them in sustaining their life. Then other subjects that are related to environmental studies is environmental policy and law. The law also is a part of um, uh, environmental studies. There's something called environmental protection law, uh, which basically gives the guidelines for protection of environment. So all this becomes a part of environmental policy and law. Then you have what you call environmental economics. So environmental economics analyzes the economic aspects of environmental issues. It examines how economic system impact the environment, evaluate the cost and benefit of environmental policies, explores sustainable development strategies. That is how we can maximum utilize the resource available in the nature. At the same time, see that these resources are sustained for future generations, and focus on reuse, recycle concepts. So that is these things are dealt in the environmental economics. We're going to study the economic aspect of the environment. Then you have social sciences, which include sociology, anthropology, geography, which becomes a part of the social sciences. Then you have engineering technology. So environmental studies often incorporates the engineering and technological disciplines to develop the innovative solutions for environmental challenges. Today we use technology to very large extent. Sometimes technology can be used to protect the environment, to save the environment. Today we are using technology for renewable energy, waste management, water treatment, sustainable development. So how to design the cities, how to design the urban uh, places or cities so that it can be made uh, more eco-friendly for human beings and also for the environment. So next we have public health issues. So this can be studied here. So public health is something which is related in the environmental studies. This involves examining the relationship between the environment, pollution, exposure to hazardous substances, public health outcomes, and other things. Conservation biology, because EBS to very large extent focus on biology, specifically to conservation biology. It focuses on preservation, management of biodiversity. It examines the ecological principles, strategies needed to protect the species or ecosystem and natural habitats. Then we also study something related to urban planning. Urban planning is very crucial in environmental studies because developing the cities is one thing, but at the same time, we have to ensure that too much of development of urban cities doesn't happen. Here we are focusing what is called as sustainable cities and communities. So it also involves use of land uh, through a proper planning. So it involves land use through proper planning, transportation system, integration of green spaces, green technology, green marketing, green products, green technology to a very large extent. So these are some of the important questions that I have analyzed or reviewed. I hope that you're able to go through this question paper and also the answers. So this is how the question and answers will be given in the EVS question paper. So thank you very much, and don't forget to like this video, share the videos, and don't forget to press the bell icon. So you'll be getting future updates in this particular channel. Thank you.